Okay, so it's Tuesday afternoon after work. Tomorrow I'll take the Tomos A35 to work, so I'm going to do some small bit of fine tuning on it. I'm going to swap the air filter for the cone type. I'm going to drop the jet size down from a 74 to a 72 to see if that corrects the air fuel ratio a bit better. Because the moment time it is running very close to four stroking, and you really want to get the right amount of air to fuel. Even on a two strokes, the oil is the crucial thing on a two stroke. Get that too lean and you'll seize. Too rich, it'll be really smoky and you'll fill the crankcase up with just unburnt oil. But yeah, if I can get that air fuel ratio just right, it should increase the power. Okay, so I'm a little bit curious as to what's in the carburetor because I couldn't find a 72. All I could find was a 70. All my other ones are 75, 76 and 78. So this should be interesting. I'm pretty sure I put a 74 in there. Of course, me being me didn't run the engine until it ran out of fuel, so it's probably fuel in the float bowl. This is a SHA 1616, it's a genuine Delorto, not a copy. Quite hard to get hold of these carbs, although it's only slightly better than a 1515. Alright, what do we have here then? Put that back on there. Oh, it's a 72, so it wasn't running a 74 then. So we're going to try a 70 jet instead. This is what happens when you get older, you tend to forget stuff. And I'm not that old either, which is a bit annoying. Right, let's fit the air filter. I've got on reserve because I haven't topped up since it ran out on the test flight the other evening. So I'm going to mix some fuel up for this, and I'm going to take it over tomorrow and test ride it, and I'll bring you back after the test ride in 24 hours. So it's Wednesday evening, just got home from work. I did record the ride home, as well as the GPS data, and I'm going to put them side by side so you can compare them. Okay, I'll just give you a little brief explanation of that little route. As I turn left up the junction, it goes uphill straight away, very little room for a run up. At the end of that 40-mile-an-hour road, it's a sharp turn to the left, and you drop to 30. The speed on the bike didn't drop that much. Get to the top of it, you turn off right, there's a straight section of road there that's level. Open the throttle on that. Again, there's another section just after that. Again, open the throttle before I stop the video. A little bit disappointed to find that the top speed was only 33 miles an hour, average speed of 15. I'd actually done the same kind of recording on the way to work on a different section of road, had the same results. I therefore decided to disconnect the speedo cable, because on the clocks all the way on that first part of that route I was reading 40 up here, and I'm not going any faster than that because of snapping cables. And so the next section, there's quite a steep hill going back to where I live, so I thought I'd give it the beans down there without the speedo connected so I wouldn't snap the cable. Didn't record it because I got to go past a couple of schools and a housing estate where there's going to be kids playing. You know, for privacy reasons, you don't want to record stuff like that. Again, disappointed to find the top speed was 33 miles an hour. And this is a 65cc kit. You know, the same setup here with an ASR kit was getting me 50 miles an hour. So yeah, quite disappointing. I think it's probably down to the compression. It is lower than the other kits because the piston doesn't kind of reach the full extent of the barrel, even though it's a high compression head. So you get that kind of difference. So that's going to get swapped out for one that's been skimmed to see if I can improve it at all. Jetting wise, dropping to a 70 jet, fitting that filter. Hasn't been spitting back as much fuel as it did before, so I was definitely over fueling, even though it wasn't full stroking. And the plug colour is now more digestive brown than bourbon. So yeah, quite happy with that. So again, improve my fuel economy without affecting the performance, although the performance of this kit should be better. And consider it's based, you know, it's a clone of the other kits that are on the market. It's not a very good clone. If you watch parts 1 and 2, which I recommend you do if you haven't done so, you'll see how much effort it took to actually fit this by having to, you know, kind of machine bits of it to get it to fit the engine cases. And in part 3, timing, that took me by surprise. For a clone of another kit, not to run with the same timing as it was bizarre. But anyway, it's running a lot better now. Still hasn't got the performance though. So yeah, if you're new to classic mopeds and tuning them, I wouldn't recommend one of these kits. Pay a little bit more money, get an ASL DMP or a Palmer kit. They generally work straight out of the box without any faffing about. If you like faffing about, pay a little bit less, get one of these and spend a bit more time in the shed tinkering with it. But yeah, I probably won't get another one. I'm not that impressed by it. But yeah, anyway, with that, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, much appreciated. If you haven't done so, please do so, because that'd be freaking sweet. And see you again soon. Take care.